So this week's movie is Amy Schumer's I Feel Pretty. And boy, is this a controversial movie. Who knew? It's just a light romantic comedy, right? Maybe not so much in the social media world, but I think I want to push back on all of the bad press it's getting. Let me make my best case for why this movie is a decent enough movie. First off, it's called I Feel Pretty, but the focus is not on pretty. The operative word in that title is the second word, not the third word. I feel pretty, and it's about a woman who is experiencing a kind of feeling that she's never had in her life. So we all know what Amy Schumer looks like, and she looks like more like your average Joe than not. She isn't one of these wafer-thin glamour pusses. She's a attractive a woman, but she isn't like maybe the ideal, at least in her mind in this movie. She plays somebody who works in the basement, I think, of a place. She's the website worker for a high-end cosmetic company, and everybody else who works in this company seems to be like runway model types, and she always yearns for the day when she can actually, be that way. Or what would it be like to be so beautiful or so this or so that? And son of a gun, if she doesn't have an accident at SoulCycle during a spin class and she falls and takes a hard hit to the head, and when she comes to, she looks at herself and she's amazed. Suddenly, she is just like those models that she always wished she could look like. The key is, though, that nothing has changed. The only thing that's changed is how she views herself, and yet that is transformative. Her new vision, when she thinks of herself in the way that she always thought of some other women, when she thinks of herself as the absolute a 10 out of 10, a perfect 10, it changes the way she interacts with the world. Suddenly, she's applying for jobs that she hadn't thought of applying to before. She's flirting with men that she normally would never flirt with. And basically, her life just looks, so much better. Now, the thrust, a lot of the comedy in the movie is her sort of misinterpreting people's reactions because she thinks, well, of course, this is happening to me because I look so gorgeous. That's not really the case, and there's a lot of fun and humor about that. There is a romantic interest that develops after a kind of funny misunderstanding in line at a dry cleaner's. And what is interesting about this thing is that she's convinced that the man is interested in her because of her looks, and it turns out that what he's interested in, because remember, she doesn't look any different, than she used to. He is attracted to her confidence, her perceived willingness to not care what people think about her feelings, and he finds that very attractive about her. And so, in a lot of ways, it goes back to this old idea that, it's how you feel about yourself and, how you are on the inside that really matters. It turns out to be, I think, a decent a kind of a self-empowerment message for PG-13 girls. This is a PG-13 movie. I think you can justify this movie and the simplicity of this movie by thinking of it as kind of like a fairy tale. The idea is that it has a simple story and it has a clear and easy moral to understand. Now, what's the controversy about? Well, first off, even when the trailer was first launched, people started ripping her for buying in or apparently buying into this thin is beautiful, and she wants to be thin, and she's gone to, great lengths Schumer has to kind of explain it. I never say that I'm thinner. I just act and, respond differently. I talk about my jawline and my breasts and my, ass, as she says, but I never talk about it being thinner. So she tries to ward off that, but people are really down on her just for the trailer. Now that the movie's out, she's getting attacked on even on more fronts. I don't think this is half bad movie. I think it's a decent movie. I would encourage people who are open to the topic to try and see it, and never mind the social critics that hate this movie. All of my movie reviews are brought to you by Red Wind Casino. See them here first on the KIRO Radio Facebook page, and find all of them at mynorthwest.com.